Hey, what's up? Welcome back, Sabscribers. It's me, Sab, here again with another episode of Suffering of Silence. And today I wanted to just take a few moments before I even start the episode, I wanted to really just take a few seconds to thank my wonderful and great friend, Izzy, for always coming through when it comes to these shoots, and especially this cover art. As most of my subscribers now know, I have officially put out the official cover art that I have always wanted from the beginning. Like, this was the exact concept that I had imagined it to be from the jump. Obviously, like I said before, I've been working on this podcast for some years now, and it took me a really long time to finally put this out. And I kept telling myself that I needed to have X, Y, and Z in order. I needed to have a cover art. I needed to have a theme song, all of this stuff. I needed to do all of this before I even considered putting out my podcast. But as time kept going on, and I was putting a lot of those things in other people's hands, like wanting to collaborate and work with other artists to get my cover done and to do my theme song. And it's not to say that doing it yourself is the best way, but I know I'm capable of doing those things myself. I just need someone to take my pictures, right? But Izzy came through. He did it for me. The first time that I actually did take the photos for my cover art was actually in Miami earlier this year, and we had been talking about that for a year. But unfortunately, those pictures did not come out correct. They were a little blurry, but they looked good. It's just they were blurry. But I'm so happy with the results of what actually the cover is now. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to show my drowning and my suffering of silence, literally. And those words were just few of many that some of the trauma and some of the things that I've experienced and faced in my lifetime that has kind of essentially those things were things that were destroying me and creating obstacles in my life and becoming who I am, right? So I really wanted to show that in the cover. So if it doesn't mean anything to anyone else, it does to me. And I really hope that you guys love it as much as I do. And I really have to thank Izzy for it, because every single time I come to him with the concept for a shoot or something, and he just takes my ideas and he tries. And even though he doesn't exactly see the vision in what I have, he trusts me enough to just do it, and I can't appreciate that more. Because I know it takes a lot for him to feel comfortable and to get comfortable with doing these shoots. So, so that is the concept behind my cover art. And I was very emotional, finally finishing it and finally sharing it with the world. So yeah, I'm very excited for hopefully some additional things that Izzy and I have coming, soon. So yeah, today's episode, I really wanted to take a few minutes to get very vulnerable, and hopefully I don't actually cry. So this will be the last episode for the month of September. I'm very excited for what I have planned for October as well. And I don't want to, I know I want to try and keep things as light as possible, but at the same time, this is also a space in which I created for people to feel comfortable with being vulnerable and expressing and opening up about things that we don't typically want to talk about, right? Things that most people would judge you for, or feel people would typically feel humiliation and shame for the things that we talk about on this podcast. And today I had a couple different ideas I wanted to talk about, but I really wanted to talk about just feelings of loneliness that I've been experiencing lately. And it's not in the sense of loneliness, I want someone, I want to romantically be with someone. It's more feelings of loneliness in general. I'm going to find the best words I can to explain this loneliness, because I feel completely misunderstood a lot of the time, and that's okay. I've learned that sometimes being misunderstood is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, right? So I don't just feel this sense of loneliness just right now. Like it's always been a thing for me, and it's something that I've always battled with, and I have a hard time. I still struggle with every single day. I still struggle with all the time. Like, it's something that I don't know if I hope would go away. And I think it's just that I'm stepping into a lot of newness right now, and that's why the feelings of loneliness have been more amplified. Not only am I stepping into a lot of newness, I'm also shedding a lot of past things and things that no longer serve me. And if anyone knows that feeling, you know that it can feel really lonely. But this journey, sometimes you need to be alone for those things. And that's okay. I'm absolutely willing to accept those things. But I wanted to really talk about it because I wanted to make sure that other people understood how it feels, and understand that you're not alone when you feel this way. You are alone, but you don't necessarily have to feel as alone as you do, right? So my sense of loneliness and my feelings of loneliness stem from, as I've realized, it comes from the inability to find individuals who can relate to me on a creative level, or just experimental, things adventurous. I feel like I don't have enough people around me who are adventurous and creative, and would actually offer me a lot of, that would offer me the reflection that I feel like I need when it comes to creating things, like just my work, my craft, essentially my art, not just with my podcast, but music, and even when it comes to the photo shoots that I have. And I might be doing these for nothing. I might not be I don't care about the numbers. I literally do those things because I love expressing myself, and I love creating things, and I love curating things, and putting things out in the world that might inspire someone to want to do similar things. And I like invoking those thoughts in people, and I like expressing myself, and I feel like those things go hand in hand. And I think that's what makes it so complicated for me personally, to fight these feelings of loneliness, because I don't feel like I have enough people surrounding me or in my corner that can offer me that sense of creativity and creative insight, and just essentially push me. I don't put that responsibility on anyone else to push me to be creative or reach the potential that I want to reach, or my full potential when it comes to being a creative. I don't expect to put that on anyone else, but it is nice to have individuals around me who are like-minded in that way. And it's very hard and difficult, especially when there's certain things I can't do for myself. I can't take my own photos. I can't I can learn to make my own music, abso-fucking-lutely, and it would be a tremendous stride for me to accomplish that. But sometimes I feel like I need some assistance with getting me started and to get me going. Again, I can't take my own pictures. If I could, trust me, I would do it more often. I wouldn't ask anyone to. And that might be my trauma talking when it comes to my the hyper independence that I continue to suffer from. But it also comes from me not wanting to, like, okay, yeah, essentially it is hyper independence, but also it comes from like the inability to trust people. I guess breaking down what hyper independence means is like, for me at least, it's not trusting people who that they'll come through when I have a certain vision, and I get very anxious when it comes to like creativity, because I don't want to lose the momentum. I don't want to lose the passion and the drive that I have when I come up with an idea, when I come up with a concept, and I want to keep driving towards it, and I want to grind for it so hard. And like, I can sometimes be really annoying and really anxious because I want to get those things done. I want to execute on those ideas right away. And I hate that I don't want to put that pressure on the people around me or my friends that I do ask these things of, but I just know that I'm at a point in my life where I want to be surrounded by people who want me to hold them accountable, to be more creative, to execute more on ideas and execute more on all of these amazing concepts that we have, that these ideas and these things that we have in our mind and our creativity. And like, I am just in a space right now in my life where I want to have more people who will hold me accountable and hold themselves accountable in those things, because that's just where I'm at right now with myself and my life. Is I want to hold myself accountable, and I want to create things, and I want to create things with the people that I care about, the people that I know have the talent, that have the potential to be great with their craft and with their art. But I have such a hard time with grasping the idea of like, they don't have to, like I cannot control what anyone else chooses to do, or how anyone else sees things, and how anyone else is willing to be. I know I can't control those things, and I just have a really hard time with being okay with that, because I feel like there's so much out there in the world. Like, there's so many people that are out here that are so creative, that are so innovative, that are so talented, and they could do such great things with their talents and their skills and their beautiful minds. And I wish that I could meet those people that are willing to actually act on those thoughts and those ideas. And I don't feel like I have enough of that around me, and it really discourages me sometimes. And like, I feel really sad. I feel really disappointed. And again, like I said, I feel discouraged, and I feel lonely. I feel alone in this world because I don't have enough of those people around me. I don't have enough of that around me. And it hurts, honestly. Like, it really hurts, because I look at the people that I do know that are so artistic, that are so creative, and they could be so great, and they just don't want to fulfill those parts of them. And I don't do this podcast to make money. I don't post things or post content to make money, or to, like, it's not about the numbers. It's literally about freedom to express myself and not give a fuck what anyone thinks. And I can never put anyone in that mindset or that place unless they're willing to go there, right? And I wish, like, this sounds almost selfish to say or to think, but I think I might cry about it, because like, this has just been a sort of a rough day, because I've just been, some of the things that I had planned, or some expectations I had planned for things that I wanted to create and do, I just don't feel like it's really coming to fruition. And it makes me, like, I'm already sad about that, but then, like, to think about, not only am I feeling disappointed because I can't execute on the ideas that I have, But I'm also sad and hurt and disappointed because it's like I want everyone around me to feel what I feel. Like I wish that what I'm doing and the way that I'm living inspires people to, like, I wish what I was doing was more impactful to the people around me. And I wish it would make people rethink how they choose to live in their creativity and in their artistic spaces. I really wish I could inspire people to do that. But also, I'm also not completely fulfilling every aspect of my potential that I know I can. And I continue to make excuses for myself, I guess, in a lot of ways. Because, yes, there are certain things that I can't do myself and I need someone else there for. But I guess I'll just have to get more creative and innovative when it comes to those things. And like I said, it's just really heartbreaking because I feel so alone in this space and this aspect of my life. And I think I talked about this on my last episode with Jesucita, how I talked about how I attracted certain people in my life, or I was attracted to certain partners in my life because we shared certain things creatively and expressively, not just with music, not just with not just with music, but like clothes and like styling and just things that I enjoy doing. Like those are things that I found attractive in my partners in the past. And it's not like I want a partner, but I want someone, I want people, I want friends around me that can give me that sense of fulfillment or help me fulfill those parts of me, and for me to pour back into them in those ways too. And it's really hard I feel like I'm having a hard time finding that space in my life, or at least the people that I do know, they are out of state, or like I can't just, it's not as easy and quick for me to just find someone that is close by that can do things like go down and do a quick photo shoot, or someone to like make music with, someone to like make clothes with, and it brings me a lot of like I said, it hurts me and it makes me feel so alone in this world. And like I've been in spaces where like I've been in spaces with a lot of artistic people that are local to me, and I've been in those communities, I've been in those spaces before, but it just doesn't feel the same for me. Like I feel like sometimes I can feel more like an outsider trying to, like, I'm not trying to fit in, obviously, but like I definitely feel like an outsider in those spaces a lot of the time, because I have spent so many years away from those spaces. And not only that, but there's just a lot of history, I feel like, when it comes to certain parts of the creative world and the creative spaces that are here in my city. And there's just a lot of history between those individuals in those spaces and people that I've dated in the past, or whatever the case is. And sometimes I feel like I might be overthinking it, because some people may not even know who my exes are. But even then, like, maybe this is me again being afraid of being perceived by other people. See, this is exactly why I do these podcast episodes, because I sometimes have to talk myself through these things. But sometimes I just don't know where to put myself in those spaces to even start. I don't really feel like those spaces exist so much. Or sometimes my problem is like sometimes I feel like in those spaces it doesn't always feel as authentic, or sometimes things feel superficial, and I just don't like that feeling, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving myself more reasons to not try and fulfill those areas of my life that I've always wanted to. Or maybe I'm doubtful and fearful of myself not being good enough, or as creative or as talented as they are. And it's hard because it's like you take so much time away from spaces like that, creative spaces like that, artistic spaces like that, and trying to come back to it is not as easy, because you see how far some people have progressed and you have gotten nowhere, and you stopped, or you like I completely stopped for years, and then to pick back up where I once left off, I feel like I'm completely behind. And I don't know, like, why. I'm tired of feeling like it's too late for me or I'm just tired of feeling like I'm not as fulfilled in the creative spaces that I want to feel. Like, I'm just tired of not fulfilling my desire and my passion for the things I love to create. And it's as disappointing as it is that I have to leave certain people behind in my life because they're not meeting me where I want to be. I have to remind myself that it's okay, and I think that I struggle with this all the time. Like, it's not just a right now thing. And like I said, it's just really amplified right now because I'm going through a sense of loss, but a lot of new beginnings right now. And feeling this way, like I said, it's something that I feel like I've always dealt with, and I've always, like, this feeling resurfaces all the time. And I don't know the healthiest way for me to work through this. Or I don't know the healthiest way for me to, like, resolve this feeling that I have. And like I said, there's just certain things I don't have the capability to do on my own. And I'm so vulnerable at this point that I'm willing to accept that. And I'm willing to admit those things. But my vulnerability to admit those things don't really make a difference. I guess what I need to stop doing is expecting the fact that me being vulnerable about not being able to do everything myself is supposed to result in someone reaching out to help me with that, And I'm just struggling really badly right now. I'm having a really hard time with this feeling. And that's just kind of where I'm at. I don't know if I can even, like, expand more on this, because it's just a feeling that I need to sit with and learn to be okay with every time it comes up. But, like, I just hate wasting all of the potential and the talent and the creativity. Like, I'm just at this point in my life where I'm tired of waiting around. I'm tired of just talking about it. I'm tired of just not doing it and not executing on this shit, because I've waited for so many years and I'm just over it. I'm so over it. And maybe this is just the feeling that you get when, I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling so overgrown in the places that I'm at and the spaces that I'm in. And, sometimes, like, I know this summer I was a little unfocused, and I was having a lot of fun because it was summer. That's cool. But I was still trying to stay as locked in as I could with my pod, and other creative spaces that I had. Like, I finished that dress this summer. I did some photo shoots this summer. And I've tried to stay on that path. And I just feel like I'm losing those spaces right now. And like, I personally, like, there's nothing that's like, I feel so driven right now and so passionate about what I've been doing this summer. Like, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. I want to keep grinding. I want to keep making stuff. I want to create things. I want to keep going down this path. And it feels like everyone around me is losing that momentum, and everyone around me is losing that drive. And I understand that changes happen, and like, I can accept that for sure. But this was like something, I guess I need to pour this creativity, this consistency behind the creativity into something else. It just sucks because I wanted to do this final thing and that was it. And like, I don't know. I'm just feeling super disappointed right now. That's really it. And it's a really weird feeling, and it's a really weird sensation to me. I just, maybe I have too much of a sense of entitlement that I shouldn't feel this way, and that people should continue to feel inspired by the things that we're doing. I don't know if I talk about this. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but back in like 2017, like 7 years ago, a group of my friends and I, we were trying to put together like a little creative group of just us, just doing random shit. Like, none of us, there was like no specific niche that we were doing or focused on, but some of us were like I wanted to make music again. I wanted to get more into upcycling and like making my own clothes. And I wanted to, and then like I had friends who were very like into photography and taking photos, and like we would all have at least one common ground, and that was like styling and clothes and fashion, and like that was definitely something that we all like shared and related on. And like, we started doing just random little shoots just around the city and just like having fun, and like literally digging through my closet, going through like coming up with different ideas, different concepts. And then we were heading down this path together, and like things changed. Life was hitting us, and I personally got into that abusive relationship, but I was also like, one of my friends was going through something. One of my friends, he suffers from a lot of like mental illnesses, and I thought that by us creating this group and holding each other accountable for being creative and doing things, we could help each other stay in a good mental space, right? And we were doing fine. We were doing great. And then I got in that relationship, and it kind of threw things off. And then my friend fell into a really bad a very bad depression, and like I don't want to speak for him, but I mean, I haven't seen him in like 7 fucking years. And also, like, I've been a ghost too, but I haven't seen him in like 7 years, and none of us have. And I just hope that wherever he is in the world, like, I hope he's okay. Like, I just want nothing but the best for him. And like, I miss those days a lot. I miss those days when we were just hanging out, just doing shit, just creating shit, just executing on ideas that we had. And like, that's just what I need around me right now. And I wish, in a lot of ways, I just wish that I still had that. And me taking 7 years away from all of my friends in that group, like, really threw things completely off. And we all went through some life experiences and some traumatic shit that just fucked us all up. And now I'm back in this space where I'm ready to pick back up and do this again and like try to make this work, try to make this happen. But none of us are in the same places anymore, and we're on totally different pages. And I think it like makes me really like, it hurts me too, like, to think about that, because sometimes I feel like a lot of that falls on me, because had I just stayed focused and stayed locked in back then and not actually gotten in that relationship, like, maybe my friends and I would be in a better place. Like, it wouldn't have resulted in a lot of shit, you know, because we could have kept each other in line like we promised we were going to. But I also know, like, it's not fully on me either. But, you know, sometimes I would beat myself up for that, and I would feel so awful for not being there for my friends in that way. But like, the things that I was going through is not an excuse for not being there for them. But I also understand, and I give myself grace in the ways that, like, I know that I was just trying my best. I was going through a lot. It's watching, you know, I was going through grieving my dad. I was going through an abusive relationship, and like, you know, when I think back on those times and I think back on those moments and those decisions that I make, those are the times in which, like, I get super emotional and I start to feel like I spiral down this, like, this whole thing of not, like, I start to spiral and think like it's my fault. Like, I start to really hate the experiences that I went through and having gone through that relationship. And then it starts to be real dark for me, and it starts to be very it just becomes a really bad headspace for me, and I can't do that to myself, because again, I need to remind myself that I need to give myself grace in these situations and understand that I did the best I could. I made the choices that I thought I needed to make in the moment, and I can't take back what I went through or the choices I made at that time. I can't go back and erase my history. And I have to also embrace that me going through that experience is what brought me here. And although, like, I'm not completely fulfilled in the ways that I want to be fulfilled in, I've done a major thing by putting my podcast out there and making this. And those are steps that I didn't think I would ever, I never even thought I would, I never even saw myself doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like 7 years ago, I never saw myself in this place doing this, making a podcast, talking so openly and vulnerably about my life and myself. And 7 years ago, I was just a lost soul. So, yeah, I mean, things to be grateful for, but things to also reflect on. I don't even know if any of this even makes sense, but, you know, I really hope that I find my group and I hope I find the people that I need that can pour into me in those artistic ways, and for me to pour into them in those artistic ways. I hope that I find you guys somewhere soon, because I really need it right now. And I need it for the rest of my life, because nothing makes me happier than to create things and just be in those types of spaces. But, it's really hard because a lot of it comes with some inauthenticity and a lot of superficial connections. But I think that goes for any spaces, not just creative or artistic spaces. And I just have to learn to be discerning in those moments. But if this is what I want, then I need to stop being afraid, and I need to just pursue it, and I need to just go for it and try, because I don't know where this is going to take me. I don't know who I could find or who I can meet. And yeah, like I just hate that I have so many of those individuals in my life, but they all live so far away from me. And I'm in this, yeah. But hopefully this is somewhat, hopefully this is relatable to someone. Hopefully people understand where I'm coming from with this. And it's no offense to the people that are in my life right now that don't pour into me in those ways, or don't enjoy being as artistic and creative as me. And it's because I do love and appreciate them regardless. But just it's just my personal thought and my personal point of view right now. And like, this is just something that I'm working through myself, that I'm trying to accept, that not everyone views things in the way that I do. And like, I'm working and processing through the fact that I cannot expect other people to be in the same place as me, creatively and artistically. I hope that, again, I inspire people, but I can't change whether they choose to execute and actually grind for that same drive and motivation that I have right now. So, I mean, it's still love. It's absolutely still love to the people around me. I really hope that this wasn't too dark of an episode. But I hope that this inspires other people to feel like it's certainly possible for you to find the motivation and the drive and the hunger to go after what you want creatively, artistically, execute on those ideas, because I never want to feel like it's too late. I have lived the life where I've regretted not taking the chances that I should have taken in those moments when they presented themselves, but I'm now in a place where those opportunities are coming again for me, and I'm not never going to ever pass those up for anyone again. And I'm going to jump at those ideas. I'm going to jump at those chances and those opportunities that I've continued to be presented with, but also ones that I've created for myself. I'm never going to lose sight of those things anymore. And I need to stick to that vision, and I need to stick to that. I don't exactly know what the outcome of all this shit is going to be, but I just know that deep down inside, like, this is what fulfills me. This is what makes me happy. And I really hope that by y'all watching me go through this and like do these things, I hope that it inspires you to do the same for yourself. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope that y'all actually really listen to what I'm saying and feel me in some way. But thanks so much for the support and the love. Again, I hope that you guys enjoy this new cover art, the official cover art, the one I've wanted. And shout out to Izzy, as always. You really are, like, I know he never wants to take credit for his creativity and the work that he puts in, but like he's honestly amazing. Like, truly one of the best people I have in my life right now, and I can't appreciate you enough, Izzy. you really killed this shit. Like, you truly executed on what I wanted, and you made that shit happen for me. So thank you. Thank you so much, bro. So I hope you start to see yourself the same way that I do. But yeah, thank you to all my subscribers. I really hope that you guys continue to tune in, because I got some special stuff for you guys next month for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I'm going to make sure that I am more resourceful in some of the things that I bring to the table. But thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, Suffering of Silence Pod. It's me, Sab, here again. Thanks for listening to Suffering of Silence. Talk to you guys soon.